Hello, this is Professor Avery. You're watching the Academic Writing Overview series. Today, I'd like to take my students through how to set up a paper according to MLA 8th edition. So when you open your Microsoft Word program, you'll have a screen that looks very similar to this. You'll notice that at the top of the screen, there is a menu. Currently, we are in the Home option on that menu. The first thing that I like to do is select the correct font. In MLA, using Times New Roman is standard. So from the pull-down screen, I select Times New Roman. You can make a choice here for either 11-point or 12-point font. Either one is standard actually in the MLA. I prefer to use 12-point font. The next thing that I do is I bring my cursor over to the blank page. You'll see that there's a blinking cursor here. On my mouse, I'm going to right-click on any empty space on the page, and it's going to open this additional menu. From the menu, I find Paragraph before I start writing anything on the page. When I click on that, the Paragraph menu box will open. Couple things that you'll want to do here before you start your document. You'll want to notice the space here under spacing where there's a drop-down menu. Currently, the line spacing is set to multiple, and that's standard for Microsoft Word programs. You actually don't want that for your MLA formatted paper. MLA format is double-spaced consistently with no breaks in the double spacing. That includes heading, title, paragraphs, everything. So go ahead and set yourself up for success by clicking double as your line spacing option. The next thing that you'll want to do is check this box here that says don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. If you don't check it, what will happen is that every time you press the enter button, an extra little bit of space will be added, and it's very off-putting. MLA likes consistency, so check that box so that a consistent amount of space, the correct amount of space, is added between paragraphs of the same style. And then you're going to select OK. Great. Next thing that I like to do is put in the pagination. Pagination is the page numbers of the document. In MLA, you're going to want to, MLA doesn't use some of the other pagination strategies, such as APA has a running head. In MLA, the pagination is just your last name and the page number in the upper right-hand corner. In order to add that, bring your cursor over to the main menu at the top of the screen and select Insert. One mistake that students make is putting the pagination and the heading as part of the header. Heading and header are actually not the same thing. So for the pagination, you're going to want to keep it simple. When you go to Insert, you'll find that there is an option here for header and footer. Select the page number drop-down menu. MLA has their page number on the top of the page, and when you bring your cursor over that option, a couple new options will appear in the right-hand menu. Select the plain number 3, which is the one that I've highlighted here. You'll see how the number appears in the far right corner. That's the one that you want. From this point, you can add in your last name and space, and then you can double click on the main document, and that will make sure that every page number is consecutive. Very simple. The next step to get your paper set up is to write in your heading. Now, in MLA, it's not specified which information or what information should appear in the heading. However, your professor most likely is going to tell you what kind of information she or he would like to appear there. For example, I always like students to include the same information. For my courses, the first information that should appear is your name. After that, it doesn't matter to me what order the information comes in, but I like you to identify your college. I like you to identify the course name, whatever that is. Also, my name. Also, the name of the assignment. whatever that is, and also today's date. As long as you have all that information in your heading, you're good to go. The next thing that you need to do is insert your title. Now you'll notice that the name of the assignment, which I'll highlight right here, appears in the heading. That lets your reader know the name of the assignment. However, your title should not be the name of the assignment. Your title should be something new, interesting, fresh, dare I say sexy, something very interesting that applies to the topic that you've chosen for your essay. So you want to write your title right there. Title is centered. In order to center your title, which I did without even instructing you, is you'll notice up here in the little mini menu from the home option, there's some options of how to justify your cursor. Select the middle, this one here for centering, and it will center your title. After that, you skip one space by pressing enter, and you change the margin back to left justified. Now in MLA, you don't want to justify your margin in any other way. So make sure that your text always begins on the left margin. Perfect. When you begin a paper that's double spaced, you want to make sure that you always indent the first line of every paragraph, even the first paragraph. However, if you have a single space document, for example, if you're taking a business writing course and you're writing a grant proposal or a cover letter, something of that nature, you may find that single spacing is actually the format. That follows a different indentation and spacing format. So keep that in mind. For this document that's double spaced, we're going to press the Tab button on your keyboard one time, and that will move the cursor over the appropriate amount of spaces. Then you can begin your paragraph. Once you've written all your paragraphs and that is completely finished, you're going to go onto your bibliography page. A bibliography page can begin on a new page, or it can appear at the end of the last page. MLA doesn't specify which one is correct. However, use your better judgment, and if your last page is mostly empty, it might be a good idea to include your bibliography on the same page. If it's mostly full, it might look better to have the works cited page appear on the last page. When you're done with your essay, no matter where you put it, your last page, you're going to center your text again, and the title for the MLA bibliography is called Works Cited. Now, if you're using a different format, such as APA or Chicago, your paper is going to look very different than this. So keep this in mind that this is MLA only. The title is Works Cited. Note that the title of the bibliography, as well as the title of the essay, appear in plain Times New Roman text. So there's no larger font, there's no purple color, there's no underline, there's no squiggly line, there's no italics. It's just plain and simple, right? You want to let your writing speak for itself. You don't need all that design. After you write your title of the bibliography Works Cited, you can bring your cursor back to left justification. Now your citations, you'll be able to see by looking in the MLA Style Handbook 8th edition, which is the most current edition as of 2020. And that will show you how to format your citations. Keep in mind that citations in the Works Cited page are double spaced, and every line after the first line is indented with one tab. So for the formatting style information, you'll want to go directly to the handbook or to whichever updated resource you're using and that you trust. But more or less, this is how to set up your paper according to MLA. And I hope you found this video helpful.